Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Welcome home. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Our show today is a woman's prerogative, and our topic is, when it comes down to it, fill in the blank. This is a panel show with women from around the world, some who just started their day and some who are desperate to complete the show so they can get to bed. Let's find out who's joining us today. We've got Caroline HEWARD. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Wonderful to be here, Dr. Jacalyn, as always.
Fabulous. Thank you. We've got Dr. Madeline Chan, who is newly located to a new place. Where are you now?
I'm in Chelmsford now in UK. Hi. Thank you for inviting me back onto this fabulous show. I love it.
Thank you. And thank you for getting your green screen up. I love it. Are you two near each other where you live?
Are you in London, Caroline?
Yeah, I'm Leytonstone, so it's east.
Ah, okay. So overland train would be about 50 minutes for me into London.
Get together. That would be nice.
Yeah.
All right, as we bring out the other panelists, just starting her day fresh as a daisy, MARISKA. She is in New Zealand. Hello, welcome.
Hello. And yes, a train will not do it for me to visit either one of you two. I'll need a plane or both.
Well, you're in our hearts, so. And joining us with a set of toothpicks next to her because her eyes are going to start drooping any moment. I'm kidding. She's wide awake. JENETTA Barry. She's joining us from Kenya and Africa. Hello.
Hello, everybody. And I think it would take a camel to get me to London at the moment. So.
And by the way, my friends, we have a very special guest. Our guest has recently joined our platform. I love that. Let's have a round of applause for that. She is our newest elevated listener, and she is going to be joining as a co-host. She has extensive experience as a TV presenter herself. She was referred to us by our dear friend, Ian Pelham-Turner, and she's also a politician and a vice president of Clapton Football Club. Let's welcome Mercy Gilbert. Hello.
Hello. Hello, Mercy.
Mercy, where are you joining us from?
Okay, I'm south of the river from the other two guests in East London.
Is that close or far?
Far.
Okay. So you're in the same country, but all far apart. That makes a lot of sense. Well, we're thrilled that you're here with us today. Thank you, Mercy.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So let's get into our topic. And what I love about this show is we have a lot of fun. We're not taking ourselves too seriously, but we want to provide some education, some hope, and inspiration. So as you know, many times in life, things don't go our way or curveballs are thrown at us, and we have to actually figure out what are we going to do. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to start with Caroline because she has that smirk on her face. She's got something to share. What is it, Caroline?
When it comes down to it, my back is against the wall, and that's just actually happened with me finding somewhere to live. I'd got very fixed on moving to South Wales around the Gower Peninsula, which is beautiful countryside and beach and sea, and I was just really, really attached. And then on Thursday night, I put the phone down at about 7 o'clock, and I learnt that where I was looking, it was very difficult to get to. It was nowhere near the sea. It was in the valleys. And my dream was just shattered completely. I had a few tears and I said, right then, now where? And I've already got a buyer and she wants to move in fairly quickly, within 2 months. And I did do a search on other areas and Cleethorpes came up. I started looking in Cleethorpes at 7 in the morning on Friday. And from Friday to Saturday, I spoke to people, estate agents, and I have already set up viewings. I've booked my train ticket and I'm seeing I've got 4 viewings so far set up for the 1st of March. So when my back is against the wall and there is the thing that I've got attached to, I let go of the attachment of what I thought the outcome should be. I'm still coastal, but it's going from west to north of the country. And they're beautiful properties, well within my budget. And I'm so excited. And so from where I was on Monday and exasperated, I feel energized and excited. And it's because I let go of the outcome. I let go of where. And that's the thing, when things don't work for me, I lose the attachment, even though it's very scary. I lose the attachment and I become open to what comes in. And it's very beautiful because it becomes exciting and there's always great outcomes in the excitement of letting go.
Woo! Yeah, I love it. Congratulations. That's fantastic. You took what could have literally just ripped your heart open and caused you to just fall apart, and you ran with it and made things happen. That's beautiful.
I did cry because I grieved. I said, you know what, I'm letting go now where, and now where is somewhere really beautiful, so I'm kind of, and you just don't know when you let go. It's an incredible experience because it's scary and yet opening.
Absolutely. I think I told you backstage, we talked about letting go and opening up on our first show this morning, which is another subject. Let's go over to Dr. Chan, who is situated in her new office, her new space in She Move. What do you do when your back is up against the wall?
Well, when I've tried literally everything I can think of, I then decide to let go of the expectation, just like what Caroline does. She lets go of the outcome. And I also call on the angels of the situation that I'm in. So, for example, if my friend, for example, because I don't drive, is looking for a parking space, I'll say, angels of parking, really need your help right now. Boom, as if by magic, there is a parking space available. And on the day of moving, everyone was getting totally stressed. I mean, really stressed. And I thought, this is going to go way out of, it seems to escalate like this. And then I said to the angels, I said, angels, we really need your help. Angels of moving, we really need this move to go smoothly so that everyone is just in the moment rather than thinking of what could happen. And then all of a sudden, these lads look like the Beatles. They really did, honestly. And they came along and they worked well together and they sang, and it went absolutely brilliantly well as far as the move. So when it comes down to it, my back is against the wall, I call on the angels of that certain situation, but it has to be constructive, not destructive, because that's not what we're not about, hexes or anything like that. We're about blessings and opportunities and manifestations of that. Yeah, that's what I do.
Do the various angels have certain working business hours that you can't contact them?
They are 24/7.
I love it.
24/7.
Thank you. Let's go over to our special guest, Mercy. What are you doing when it looks like there's no options?
When there's no options, I'm the same. I also call on God, but I also have 5 kids. And I pick up the phone and call my kids, especially when it comes to technology. And I call them and ask them, I'm stuck, and how do you do this? How do you connect onto this site, or how do you do whatever in technology? And that's been a big lifesaver for me.
Did you say 5? 5 children?
Whoa!
Woo!
Yes.
What is your secret to your youthful look? You look like fresh as a daisy. What's your secret?
They keep me on my toes, running up and down.
How old are they?
The eldest is 23, the youngest is 10. So 23, 19, 16, 12, and 10.
A round of applause.
4 boys. 4 boys and 1 girl.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Let's go over to JENETTA Barry. What's your secret?
Well, when my back's really against the wall and I know there's nothing more I can possibly do, I've tried every avenue, and the chips are really down, and that's happened quite a few times in my life. I find that I automatically go into that place of, or a place of knowing it'll be absolutely all right. So it's almost in that place of being desperate that I go into that other opposite place of absolutely, well, of absolute acceptance and knowing that it'll work out. And then a sense of peace comes through me. And, I call God grand orderly design. And I just know that it's all part of the design. Now, I'd love to be able to do that when my back's not against the wall, but at least I know I can do it, and that there's this unshakable knowing that it'll all be right, and that the worst won't happen. And that's what's happened every time.
Brilliant. Thank you. That's great. And let's find out what our friend in New Zealand has to say.
Ooh, well, for me, I utilize some or most or all of the previous discussed techniques. And when I'm not quite there yet, so the back is very close to the wall, but it's not against the wall as yet, I do find that walking also helps. So doing some form of light exercise. No, Dr. Jacqueline, I do not go to the gym. Light exercise where my brain can, I don't need to think about the exercise, and my brain can just sort of go different places. It helps me relax. It secretes all the hormones that's helpful for us to actually get rid of stress, and then new possibilities sort of open. And as JENETTA mentioned, we get into that space of, yeah, everything will be fine, and we can start figuring out what it is that we want to do next, or the next step that we want to take. So yeah, that's what I normally do.
All right. Well done. Lots of creative ways for people to handle things. I know for me, what I'll find is the emotions start really getting out of control, and I just feel overwhelmed, like I'm kind of trapped. So what I'll do is I'll literally physically take a step back. Don't knock down the green screen. I take a step back as though like, here's the situation, and now I'm looking at it from a different perspective. And then I'll do one of 2 things. I'll go for a walk, and I'll just look at nature and realize that God has created so much abundance. There's so much beauty, and that what's happening is just such a small thing compared to the enormity of the beauty in the world. And if that doesn't work, I kid you not, I will crush my workout at a new level. I will take everything I have and leave it with those weights. Take this, take this, take this. That is what I will do. So my next question for you all is, if you're in a relationship, a business relationship with your children, a partner, whatever it might be, and that person doesn't process situations like this the same way, how do you show up? Are you sort of like, well, what you should be doing is, or have you ever thought of doing it this way, or do you basically just leave the person to figure it out themselves? Caroline, yes, thank you for volunteering.
Well, I always like to use the term, would you like some perspective on that? Would you like another perspective? Or would you like my thoughts on that? You know, obviously it's always your choice, but would you like my thoughts or my perspective? Or you could do this. So I'm, you know, I don't, and if they're not interested in my perspective, then I don't share it, you know. So if they say, no, I've got some fixed ideas, I know what I'm going to do, and I go, okay, you know. So I always ask the question, would you like another perspective on that? Or would you be interested in seeing it another way?
Now, a follow-up question I have, thanks for sharing that, is what if you put that up there, hey, would you like another perspective? And the person says no. How many times can they say no to you in the relationship before you go, I don't know if I want to be with this person because they never care about my perspective? Is that important to you, Caroline?
I'm a very independent person. So, and I am, and I do things, you know, people say you do things the Caroline way, and hence why I've been single for a long time. And but at the same time, you know, I'm very much a person that does relationships well, friendships well. And so I'm respectful of space. And if it's not working, if, you know, we're not kind of compromising or coming together, then I would question, you know, sort of the validity of staying together. Absolutely. But I wouldn't judge just because they don't go, you know, listen to my advice, because we're all different. You know, we are all made up differently. And I tend to attract a lot of people that are very technical. So I'm a little bit, you know, sort of up here, you know, not quite with the angels, but very much, you know.
Here's you, here's Madeline.
And most people are kind of really, you know, sort of down in the tech. And, you know, one of the things that I'm hearing frequently is the words, well, if we want to do this, that's great. We'll just figure it out. And I quite like that, because that's on a par with how I respond to things. You know, if I want to do something, I just say, I really want to do that, but, you know, sort of, if it's right, it will, you know, it will come, the way to do it will happen. And so I'm liking those words, we will figure it out. And I think like that's opening.
Yeah, that's very good. Mercy, if you have someone in your life that you offer your assistance, you offer to help them with their situation, and they say no repeatedly, do you ever think to yourself, okay, let's watch them fall again? I'll have to go pick them up again. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes, it certainly has. It happens all the time. And my immediate response is to try to find them at a time when they're comfortable, they're relaxed, and we're laughing and joking, and then try to talk through to them on how other people are seeing them. Because I think sometimes too often people don't see how other people are seeing themselves, because then when they see how other people are seeing, they say, oh, yes, I didn't realize that's how people are seeing me, or that's how I come across. I think there's always different ways we can speak to people and get through to people. It's just learning, I think, about the timing. Timing is very, very important.
I love that. You pick a time when there's not so much emotional tension going on.
Yes.
Yeah, that should work really well. JENETTA?
Yeah, I find that when I have a difference of opinion with either a business partner or a partner, I sit and listen to them and ask different questions. Rather like I'd say, okay, so what's your reasoning? Where's your motivation? Give me a list of what you see as working in that, all the benefits of it. Give me an extensive list. Show me what it is you're looking at and your perspective. And then when they're feeling that they're being heard and listened to, and I either listen to them or read them, then I sit with them and say, okay, so have you looked at what won't work in that? So I do a kind of process with them. In a sense, it's like a SWOT analysis, because 9 times out of 10, their reasoning is from one perspective and not that whole picture that you were talking about, Dr. Jacqueline. And I find that being able to hear them out, get all the reasonings, all their motivations, their passion, their whatever it is, and sometimes it can come from fear and judgment that their suggestion has come from, and to be able to find out where their motivation came from. And then once I know what it is that got them to decide or discuss or present to me what it is they feel must be done, then we work a process of what wouldn't work, and where their fear is sitting and where their judgment is sitting, so that they work it out for themselves and it doesn't feel like I've told them.
I like it. I like it. Very good. Dr. Chan, what do you think about what's been said so far?
I find that Jenetta's is got a lot of wisdom in the analytical as well, but also asking permission. Caroline, fantastic that you're saying let's both deal with it. Let's both work at it how we both can in the two parties. I love the way that Mercy says you've got to pick the right timing, because you've got to wait until the emotions kind of simmer down and then find the right window to go in and explain yourself. Yeah.
Okay, I just have to say this. Is that elevated listening? Yes, let's give her a round of applause. She paid attention to what everyone said. Good job, Dr. Shin. I love it. Fantastic. So,
I wanted to add something, because I thought you were going to ask me about that question.
Go ahead.
Well, all I can say is if you live with your best friend, your soul brother, and you've lived for 2-3 years, the dynamics change and you kind of start to treat them like brother and sister. And you know where you do, you get nitpicky with them. We're actually going through that right now. We're going, but you said this and, blah, blah, but you're still doing that. Of course that's going to happen because you're still opening the door while you're smoking. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't think that the dynamics would change, but they do. They really do. It's almost, you get closer, platonic, you get close, but the dynamics change because you start to be cheeky with each other or start to go over the boundaries with each other. Everyone else, I ask permission, I'm very patient with, but for some reason, the last few months have been quite trial testing.
Are you now done speaking? I just want to make sure I don't cut you off. It sounds like that would be great,
Dr. Jacqueline.
I think it sounds like a great opportunity, Dr. Chan, for you to work with Caroline.
Actually, you know what, Dr. Jacqueline, that's a great idea. Right. I'm gonna ring you up, Caroline.
You're the Harley Street stress expert, so
yeah,
she's really good in helping people bust their stress.
Really, it's about people are reacting and responding to who you are and what you're suppressing. So if there's something that you're suppressing, boy, is it going to come up for the other person. And if you're frustrated about something and you push it down, it will then express in the other person. So you can't, you're winding each other up even though you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
It's good to explore those things, because there'll be triggers for you and there'll be triggers for the other person. It's about, I'm sure that you can appreciate, handling your own stuff that comes up, and that clears the space energetically for the other person to be their pure selves, as well as you being your authentic self.
So basically what you're saying, Caroline, if you don't mind me saying, about mirroring.
Yes.
It's mirroring. So,
whatever.
because at the moment, my soul brother is completely stressed in every way, and therefore he's not in the now moment. So there's lots and lots of little misunderstandings and mistakes at the moment.
And that will wind you up. because you're in.
I have a lot of patience. I have a lot of patience, but yeah, lately, yes. But I will hit you up. I mean, ring you up.
So my next question is, as our topic is when it comes down to it, when you know you're going to be in a stressful situation, okay, Dr. Chan just moved, Carolyn, you're going to be moving. This is very stressful. You know it's coming, and you know things are going to go awry. How do you prepare for it? So it didn't just come up. You know it's coming. What can you do in advance to prepare yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, so that you're at the top of your game? Mercy?
Well, when I know something is gonna come up, I do the walking thing, where I go for a walk, and it helps me to calm down, and it helps me to think and to process and see things from a different perspective, and I'm able to then calculate how to walk into that situation in a calm and collected way. Especially sometimes I even leave it a couple of days, and because sometimes your immediate reaction when there's something that's a confrontation is better to leave 24 hours, because if you do it straight away, then it will end up in a shouting match, and it will not end up the way you want it to. I'm a person who likes peace, and I always find that it works when you give it a moment.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. Mariska, what do you think?
I want to add to what Mercy said, in the sense that the walking for me also very beneficial. And then I think, especially when I know something's coming up that will be stressful, I become really intentional about what I want out of it. So if it's going to be a conversation, being really clear on how I want the conversation to go, what it is that what type of outcome I would like from it, so that I know exactly how I want to step into it. For Caroline and Dr. Chan moving, my move was last year, and I decided to do it mindfully. So I intentionally had a mindful move, and I did all my packing mindfully. I did the whole move mindfully. It still had some hiccups within the move, but it was a lot less stressful than if I didn't do it that way. So that would be the thing that I normally do.
Thank you so much. You know, for those of you who know, I live in a stressful situation every day, and it's been going on for a long time. It's going to continue to go on. And what I've really had to do sometimes, and I'd love to have you comment on this, is sometimes I have to go within, and I pray a lot, but I also say, I have me. I have myself. I don't need to depend on someone else to help me feel better about the situation. I can look at the positives, but I can also tap into what's in here. And that gives me strength and courage to keep moving forward. Have you ever felt like that?
Very much so, Dr. Jacqueline, because when you're in your head, when you're in all the noise and you're trying to please everybody, then you lose your compass. So if you go internal, you go back to your compass and you make better decisions by not being in all the noise of the stress. So I absolutely agree with you. And that's really kind of what I did when I had to let go of going to somewhere that I'd intentionalized in terms of where I was going to go. For 2 years, I was absolutely attached to it. And when I let go of it, essentially, I went in and I trusted by going inside. Rather than being in my head, I was in my heart. And that's a huge difference, because when you become calmer, and when you're calmer and you're more in your emotions and feelings and in your heart, something changes, and things can come much more easily.
Thank you.
I'm going to add something to this. You might find this quite weird and funny, but I do quite the opposite. I spent so much time within and above. It's almost they're saying to me, look, can you go down there and deal with it yourself sometimes, but we've got other things to do, we can, you have to start to go back to the, your root chakra, and you've got to start to, because I've been too much in my heart chakra and my head and my crown, and they're woo, right up there. So I have no idea what's going on the outside reality. So now it's a case of, okay, now you need to bring that to, so yeah, they're telling me I've got to do it myself sometimes. Yeah.
I love it. So I want to expand the topic just a little bit into another area, because we discussed this today on Secrets to Timeless Beauty. So my question is, when it comes down to it, are you meant to be with a partner for your whole life? Or are you meant to take some time and journey through life by yourself? Who wants to jump in on this one? Yes,
I'm happy
JENETTA.
to jump in. I think it depends on the journey that you've decided you're going to take. I think there are a lot of intuitive, highly sensitive beings going through a lifetime where staying with one partner isn't going to necessarily give them the insight and the understanding that they're seeking on many levels. And so I've seen so many intuitive, sensitive beings not able to stay with one partner, and understanding the value of different relationships and different partners and what that's giving them as they move to the next. And some of them don't understand. Some of them are just going from partner to partner. And then there are people out there that go, this is all I need for life. I mean, I met a couple not so long ago. They've been together for 45 years. They've lived in the same place for all their lives. I think they lived down the same street as children. And they're very happy with their lot. They're happy that that's the way they grew up. They're happy that this was their marriage and they didn't need anything else. But I have noticed those who are on a quest are needing to find out what it is they aren't. And we all know, as Caroline was just saying, we all are a reflection in our other partner of what we are and aren't. And that's how you learn. So I do think there are different approaches depending on the personality you are, where you are spiritually, mentally, emotionally, what it is you deep down are on this planet to do.
I love that, JENETTA. Thank you so much. An analogy comes to mind. I'm not someone who does a lot of square dancing, but, swing your partner around and around, and you grab one person's arm, then you go to the other person. So I feel like that's how people are like swinging around and around from, going to partner. And I'm the one playing the music who's not doing the dancing. Does that make any sense?
It does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're the DJ.
Yeah.
You're the DJ.
I'm watching. I know. Yeah.
DJ Jacqueline.
DJ. Yeah. There you go.
Goddess.
Percy, what are your thoughts about this, about going through life? When you think about the Bible and the animals and Noah and the ark, the Bibles, the animals are in two. They're going in pairs, right? And dancing, you're usually dancing with someone else. I'm dancing alone and I'm on the boat by myself. What do you think?
Well, I think with the Bible, some people are meant to be celibate and be alone, and they feel fulfilled being alone, and if you mention to them about having a partner, they feel they don't need that. They feel content. But some people also feel the need to have a partner all the time. And then you then have people who go through relationships, and there might be domestic abuse, and they split up with the partner for that reason and decide to have a me time to discover themselves, to regain their confidence, which I deal a lot with women who've gone through domestic violence, and they go through that moment of rediscovering themselves and trying to enjoy a me time. And some decide to stay single, and others decide to rejoin the relationship lane and either get married or live with a partner, or just have somebody who they can enjoy their time with. And there's also those people who they cannot live with somebody. They got married early, and they cannot envisage themselves being alone, and they feel actually fearful of being alone. And you find that with older people, when they've lost their loved one who they've been married to for 50 years, they die soon after because of missing that person. So that's how I think about that. It's each to their own.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that also. At this show this morning with another woman, she was basically saying we're all meant to be with someone. And what we do is we create things to keep us busy because we've suffered some kind of trauma in our life through a relationship, and therefore we keep ourselves unavailable to be in a relationship. So it was very deep and yet very simple at the same time. I said I don't agree.
Dr. Jacqueline, I was going to say, your partner, ideal partner, is going to have to do the exact solid core as what you're doing. I mean, they've got to do more, if not.
So we never see each other. We would never get together because we're all, yeah.
You'd be in the gym all the time, both of you.
No. This has been so much fun. I can't believe that we're already at the end of the show. But what I love to do, as we always do, is go around and what do you want our audience to know about you? What is it that you're doing, that you're offering, that you can bring value, and for people to get in touch with you? I'm going to start with our special guest, Mercy Gilbert, first.
Okay, I'm a connector of people, and I do a lot of PR management and events management. And I can be contacted via the British African Business Forum, which if you Google it, you can find me there and send a message through, or on Mercy TV, Mercy TV1, my Instagram handle, to get in contact with me.
Okay, so there's a 1 on Mercy TV. It's Mercy TV 1. Okay, Thank you for sharing that. We will fix that. And JENETTA Barry, what about you? What services can you offer? How can you help people?
Well, I can assist people to step into that place of communicating with their loved ones, with the people they work with, their clients, their employees, friends, in new ways that don't come from judgment and fear, because so much of the time we either hold back or mince our words, or with that treading on eggshells is another thing we often do as well. So I assist people to step into that zone where they can speak their truth that doesn't come from a place of anger or a place of angst. From fear and extreme judgment. It comes from an open-hearted place where you naturally speak your truth from a place of love, but it's your truth, not worrying about what the consequences are, because it is your truth. And I've helped many people all over the world to do just that, so that when they do speak their truth, the people hear it from that place of open-hearted understanding, and their reactions are very different. So if you'd like to know more about that, you can get hold of me or have a look at more at theepiphanyprocess.com or at JENETTA@theepiphanyprocess.com.
Fantastic. Thank you, Janetta, and thank you for staying up late with us. And waking up bright and early, Mariska, tell us about the value that you provide.
Well, I work with specialists that moves into leadership as well as leaders moving through leadership. And this is to bring a little bit more humanness into our working space and into working with each other. Now, when we are specialists moving into leadership, or even leaders that maybe didn't get all the training that was required for us to be great leaders, it leaves gaps. And I'm there to help you fill those gaps in order for you to really become a leader other people want to be around. So if you are interested in finding out how we can work together and how all of that works, you can contact me via my email address, which is mariska@journey2. I know Dr. Jacqueline just loves that. So mariska@journey2discover.com, or alternatively, you can also find me on LinkedIn, and just let me know that you saw me on USA Global TV and radio, and we can definitely start our conversation.
Thank you, Mariska. As I've shared before, I hear your voices in the middle of the night. Journey, the number 2, discover. Because I hear you so often. I feel like I'm sleeping with you. Okay, let's not go there. Caroline, over to you.
All right, well, I'm going to literally help you bust your stress. And I'm sure that that wakes you up in the morning too, Dr. Jacqueline. I'm sure that that's like a phrase that you know well. So we're all walking around with our own stress, whether it's physical, ache and pain, whether it's emotional, sadness, loneliness, heartache, whether it's relationship issues, so behavioral stuff, anger management, or whether it's sleep problems or situations that you find yourself getting into. I call it the revolving door or repeating patterns. Or whether it's intimacy issues, whatever it is that challenges you and that you're complaining about. Because some people say, I'm not stressed, but I don't sleep very well. That doesn't mean I'm stressed. So it's the symptom that you're complaining about that is the way that you express your stress. And I literally help you identify the root cause through an extremely simple process, which shifts your energy so that you become more peaceful, and it breaks through the emotional charge that's keeping that stress in your body, physically, emotionally, mentally, and behaviorally. And you can feel the charge lifts because you will feel more peaceful, you will sleep really well, and the emotional release is very gentle. So I offer a free consultation over the phone. You can reach me on nomorestress@live.co.uk, or call me if you're international, +44. If you're local, 07523 120 189. And I offer a free consultation to bust one symptom. And if you want more, then I am very open to offer more. And obviously we can look at the package that works for you.
We always want more of Caroline, that's for sure.
Yay,
Thank you.
Caroline.
Dr. Chan, what about you? What services do you offer? How can you help people?
Well, it keeps changing, but right now I get, what it is. I'm very childlike essence, and that's how I remain young. And I believe that everyone, if they kind of come away from the outer world for a little while, go in the inner world, explore the inner world and look at the world in a childlike essence again, I will help you connect to your creative heart, your creative gifts for you to become the highest potential of what you can be here, a creator being. That's what I do. And I help to bridge the gap between the angelic realms and here, 3D human. So that's what I do. And I write songs as well. So if you want a song about your life to express your life, then I work with Songs for You, which is a company of songwriters, musicians, and we get together and we help to write you a song of any style that you wish. And we have Dr. Jacqueline with us as well, because Dr. Jacqueline will show us how to do the interview and everything on this. So that's super, super exciting things that's happening. So it keeps on growing and evolving and changing in a beautiful way. And it's all about discovering your creative heart through a childlike essence. And that's who I am.
And you can reach Dr. Chan on her email address, which is MADALENECarolChan@gmail.com.
Forgot
Thank
that.
you. Well, thank you so much for being here, whether it's the evening or the morning. I really appreciate you taking this time to be here with us. We are signing off for now, because where am I going? Does anyone know where I'm going after the show?
Work it, baby, work it, solid core,
Solid core. That's where I'm going.
500 and what? 556?
550 classes as of yesterday. So
Wow.
Woo-hoo! Way to shine, goddess. Woo-hoo!
Go.
most challenging work I've ever done, and I have to psych myself up before I walk in there. So I'll be taking off these eyelashes, and everything comes off. It's like, now we're down to business. So, all right, now you know where to find me. All right, thank you all for being here and for such a fun show. I look forward to seeing you again. Take care for now. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.